Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the new Byte Podcast. Yay!
We're
Hello,
live once
everyone.
again.
So yeah, this is our first regular episode of the new Byte Podcast. Actually, thanks so much again for joining us for the launch party on Saturday. It was quite a success. A few things have already happened with the new Byte on the website and the channel as well. We uploaded the first review, of course, and now we're back with a sort of usual slot that we want to fill now. Hopefully every week, at least we want to try. We covered a few news pieces that we want to talk about, and we tried also to fix Dan's microphone, which hopefully sounds way better now. So I hope we will also see sort of a positive feedback on that in the comments. So yeah,
Definitely.
welcome back.
Hey.
How's everyone?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, week's been good. A lot of hard work.
Yeah, same for me. So actually, like, only 4 days have passed, so we haven't done probably that much, at least from my standpoint. Work is keeping me busy as well. And for those who are wondering why Emily isn't saying anything right now, she's on push to talk because also her family is in the background and she doesn't want to annoy us. So if it appears that Emily is a little quieter than usual, right?
Thank you, Em.
Just for an explanation.
It's fine. It's all fine.
She can still talk for herself. And we will also upgrade her microphone situation later on as well. So we all
Hopefully.
very nice for you. All right. Yeah, so as I said in the beginning, we also got a few topics to talk about right now. No family noises in the chat. Nope, no family noises. The first thing that I personally want to talk about is the update that we see for PlayStation 4 system. And the funny thing is actually, like, Sony gathered sign-ups for that beta, which they usually do for every major release. And now 5.5 is one of those. And I actually got the email, I think, around the end of last week, that I'm available for the beta now, that I could download it and everything. Problem is, you'd have to sign an NDA. And since we're now live with the website and everything, I was actually thinking, nah, I don't want to sign an NDA. Good thing, though, actually, that we have people like VG247 who are available and can actually talk about stuff like that. So I will quickly jump over to the website and we'll take a quick look at the new things being added, because there's some cool things that I personally like, especially for standard TV users, and more UI things that I want to talk about. So as it starts out right now with the firmware 5.5, we actually get a so-called super sampling mode. Now, hands up, who knows what super sampling is in that context? Nobody? Okay. Well, good thing you have me, because super sampling is actually a technique which basically renders a game image onto a high resolution and downscales it again to the actual TV resolution. For example, if you have a standard 1080p monitor or TV in that sense, your PlayStation 4 Pro soon will use super sampling to deliver a higher quality image to your standard HD TV. Meaning, for example, you'll have less of those sketchy edges because sometimes effects like VXAA are not happening inside of a game for standard mode. And until you would actually upgrade to a 4K TV, you were not able to get those 4K upgrades. So it helps really a lot to improve the overall image quality if you use super sampling. Of course, PC players were able to use that already for a long time. Many game engines, like for example in Battlefield, were able to just use an internal resolution that was higher than actually the monitor output, which actually does like render scale. So, example, if you have a render scale of 200, you'd actually render a game image of 4K, but then tune it down again to 1080p. And that's actually quite good, I think, because many people were struggling to see the reason why they should get a PlayStation 4 Pro if they don't have a 4K TV right now. And that was the first step to say, hey, people are also just using a regular TV, but want to have the advantages of a more powerful device like a PlayStation 4 Pro. And finally see the first steps of actually having good reasons why to use one. I mean, has any one of you a 4K TV?
No, I don't have a 4K TV. Currently I'm using a monitor.
Yeah. You have the super wide thing going on, right?
Yes, I got the really super wide thing going on, which I like, but everyone seems to think is really weird. So,
I mean, it depends on what you're used to. For me, I actually have 3 separate monitors in front of me right now, and it helps me to sort of separate each one. I can say, monitor 1, you are dedicated to Discord, for example. Monitor 2 is for all the news that we are reading right now. And the third one actually has the live stream stuff happening. So I personally like that there's actually physical space between those things. So I actually see them on separate images. And I can turn them to myself without needing a very expensive upgrade of a curved monitor.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that point. I would preferably love more than one monitor. Just my space is literally about that wide. So I haven't got much room to work with, but hopefully I'll get another monitor up the top there, which would be nice. But yeah, so for the moment, wide monitor, lots of space.
Yeah.
So
at least you got to use screen state for that.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
But no, the 4K, that sounds like it's really going to up people's availability to get good graphics on the PlayStation 4. Without needing to buy an expensive 4K TV, as those are pretty pricey, and not a lot of people could justify, hey, my TV, I want it 4K, unless they've got a lot of disposable income. So
yeah, and to be honest, like 4K TV, if you really want to have one that has all the good features, you have to go beyond 1K in any budget. And I know what I paid for mine, and it still has 2 or 3 more versions that are even better, but I'm quite happy with what I paid, and it was already around 800 because it's a super cheap offer, I think. Yeah, but certainly if I wasn't having luck right now with my good job and steady income, I would probably not have gotten that TV. But yeah, so that's at least one step towards everyone having a benefit from the PlayStation 4 Pro.
What about you, Em? Would you get a 4K TV if you could?
Yeah, I think I would love 4K TV. I would love 4K monitors, but I'm currently at university, so money's a little bit tight. Yeah. So I currently have I've been blessed with like having 2 screens, like 2 monitors.
Yeah.
And one's currently a hand-me-down from my father, and the other one is currently a TV that I got from one of my relatives. So, yeah. If I had the money, I would so totally go for the best thing. Yeah. I think anyone would.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But if also the size is really important to the distance that you're sitting from the TV or monitor, because my 4K monitor that I have here is like 27-inch, and the funny thing is it's a good monitor size, like 27-inch from like a meter away. Sort of gives me a good feeling about how much I can see on the monitor. Problem is the 4K resolution again, like you don't really feel it, right? It's more of you can say, oh, I can run games now in actual 4K and can see it, but can you really? Because the high resolution is not that visible, really. You have to get really close to see, oh, okay, the pixel count actually is really high, and there's some really fine details, but if you're sitting normally in front of 4K TV, it's not really worth it, so just saying that. But other nice things for the PlayStation upgrade actually are what I like to call usability problems that they already tried to solve and now improved on. Because now you can finally see your PlayStation Plus games in a separate category. And in my case, it's this giant library of games that I've downloaded even, but never started, sadly. And at least now I can say, hey, I have a special case for that where I can see, okay, these games I downloaded but never tried at least. So, hey, maybe there's something that I want to take a look into. Other than that, we'll also have the support finally to adjust the volume when listening to Spotify or music from a USB stick, which, hello, that should have been there since day one, but they're finally bringing it in. And of course,
they're getting around to it.
Yeah, and we finally have a possibility also to hide games in our general library. So, for example, past betas, which I have, I think, a few of already, they can finally be also hidden in the actual library. So you can say, okay, we don't need to see them again because you'll never get access to them again. The only game that I would not hide is still PT, because I have actually that file locked on my system. I actually have the download, but I just can't access it anymore, sadly, because, it's been locked away by Konami, sadly.
No.
It's a sad case.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm seeing here that on the list of updatables, they've added playtime management for guardians and family members to manage PS4 playtime for their child. How is that not an inbuilt feature?
I mean, right. The Nintendo Switch had that from day one, so it can actually...
So did the Xbox. The Xbox has always had that from day one.
Yeah, it's quite useful. But it's not.
But why PS4? Why did it take you so long?
Probably because it's not that important to them. At least with the PlayStation 4, you could already trade games at launch. So
that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah. The funny thing is actually the Nintendo version for the Nintendo Switch. I'll show it quickly on stream here. It's a nice app. Actually, you can see which dates someone played and all that. But the problem is you cannot really count together, for example, how much playtime you have in a game overall. So you actually have to go through the dates and count, like, okay, on Sunday I played 3 hours, on Monday I played like 2, and everything. So for review purposes, it's actually nice that there is some way to record your playtime. So you can say, I played this game for 10 hours, for example. But there's no way you can actually say, okay, I played this game through within, 48 hours or something. Which is something that's still missing on, I think, all platforms, in case I'm not wrong.
I'm pretty sure, I may be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure a lot of games have in-game playtime linked to either your save or you can access it some way through the in-game menu.
Some of them, yeah, but not all of them.
It would be nice to be able to, like, I don't know, on Xbox, for example, just on the game, press the start button, and then just have like playtime. Check that out.
You played this game for so many hours, you should be ashamed of yourself. Something like that.
No. It's a good experience. You should not be ashamed.
Nah.
Unless it's a bad game, then yes.
Unless
you
it's
should be very
Destiny
ashamed.
2, which literally there's a website called Time Wasted on Destiny, and I love it actually. It's great to see how many people are even crazier than me about those games.
Oh, I definitely know a couple of friends who play Destiny just day after day. It's like, how? There's not enough content to keep me entertained. Where are you getting this?
Yeah.
Then again, people play Call of Duty multiplayer, so
yeah.
Hey, I don't understand that either. But speaking of Call of Duty multiplayer,
I see what you're doing. You fought my plan, because I was actually going forward with the next topic after that. But yeah, let's talk about Call of Duty, of course, because hey, right now we actually have very interesting leaks for the next Call of Duty this year. And someone with the name called Marcus Sellers, I hope I said that correctly, on Twitter, who already predicted things like Nintendo Labo and I think also Dark Souls for the Nintendo Switch, has now also talked about that this year's Call of Duty actually will be Black Ops 4, which is something that I was hoping for a long time, and apparently what happened. The funny thing, though, is Marcus at least is saying in his tweet, and let me show you that, of course, on stream as well. He's talking about that the game is coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox, PC, standard, but also on the Nintendo Switch, and that is interesting for one thing at least, because if it's actually coming, Nintendo Switch again will be able to use a lot more features than just the standard console, and a lot less in terms of quality, image quality, resolution, all that. We've seen Doom running actually on Nintendo Switch, which is not too bad. I mean, you could always argue like, hey, but I can at least take the Nintendo Switch with me and play it outside in the world somewhere on the train, for example. So we'll see how that will work out, if it's actually true at all. But the thing is... sorry, please.
That's right. It's just, I was just going to jump in there and say... you're going to see a lot of people on the train just with the Nintendo Switch shaking it, going, reload, damn it.
Reloading!
Come on!
I need ammo! Yeah, all of those. Yeah, what I was going to say is actually, the thing is, having only one tweet of a person who you can maybe trust, but every time, if they are right one time, that doesn't mean they're always right. Right? You can say 1,000 things about something, and one of them will be right, and you can claim, oh, you know things. But apparently, Eurogamer actually got multiple sources at hand that reported that this year's Call of Duty will be Black Ops 4. If it will be actually called Black Ops 4, we don't know. But at least if Eurogamer will get a little more insight from multiple sources, I know at least there's something up with that. So, yeah, at least that is happening. So we'll see how that would turn out. I personally would actually hope for a Black Ops 4, which is sort of a good continuation next to what we already have after World War II. Eurogame was actually speculating that it will go a little bit back again. So the Black Ops 3 game actually was set in 2065 with already lots of mechanical things happening in the game, which were a little crazy. A story mode that was interesting. I mean, in the current day, where lots of things like Altered Carbon, or what the Netflix show is called, and all that, and Black Mirror, of course. So people are actually into that shit with sci-fi that's turning against us. And Black Ops 3 actually made that a storyline. It's quite cool to see. So who knows what will happen with Black Ops 4? We'll see if it's real.
Yeah. So yeah, I well, with the Black Ops, with the Call of Duty franchise, a lot of people, me included, really feel that they neglect a lot of the storyline. It's all about the multiplayer. It's all about how many different maps we can get in, guns we can get in, like keeping our fans happy in terms of the multiplayer. But then there's also people like me who play for the story, and like let's see some interesting stuff come from that. The Black Ops series as a whole has been the best Call of Duty for campaign, I'd say. Like in terms of franchise across it all. Yeah. I'd say the only one that for me is on par, it would be Infinite Warfare, as that sorry, not Infinite, I think it was Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was the first one that were
Advanced Warfare, not Infinite Warfare. That.
Yeah.
The Advanced Warfare
spacey storyline in it.
Yeah, the Advanced Warfare one was fantastic. That was utterly brilliant. Just because there was so much there, and they left the ending so open so they could add a second one on. I'm really hoping that they go back to that at some point. But yeah, I think because they tried to be a bit more futuristic with the exoskeletons, everyone was like, it's not really how I like Call of Duty, because they add all these extra parts on it. That's multiplayer. Like, but for a storyline, it's fantastic. It's excellent. But hey, people like multiplayer stuff. Do you do you? So
yeah, fun thing is, especially Call of Duty in every Black Ops game, I love the multiplayer. No matter how, I did play the campaign for Black Ops 1 because it was sort of the first game that I had contact with from the Call of Duty series. And Black Ops 2, I never tried the campaign because I was thinking like, okay, the multiplayer is so good, I just don't want to play a campaign, really.
Sure.
And with Black Ops 3 again, turned around because some time has already happened in between those two games. And yeah, that campaign again was like really interestingly. So it's some good setup. Didn't have wasted that much on famous people in the game, I think. So yeah, the Advanced Warfare storyline was interesting. Overall, Kevin Spacey was used for marketing. I'd say in the storyline itself, it was just like
he did a great
not important. Job. Yeah, but like overall, it was
press F to pay respects.
Yeah,
guys, can we get an F in the chat for respects?
I hope. Yeah,
I want to see that. But yeah.
I mean, people always praise Modern Warfare as the best franchise from that. But, I wouldn't go that far.
So, today is the 7th of February.
Yes.
And February. And as we know, in the next 7 days, people will be sending out love hearts. They'll be going out on romantic dates, romantic walks. But I know one thing that is true to gamers' hearts everywhere. We will be staying in and playing cooperatively, especially on Destiny 2 with their latest update for the Crimson Days is returning.
Yes. Wow, that was damn nice moderation. Keep it up. Yeah. Destiny 2, or Bungie rather, announced for next week for Valentine's Day that the Crimson Days event is coming back from Destiny 1. In Destiny 1, I personally really liked how Crimson Days was playing out in the first time they brought it back. Because back then, there was a game mode called Trials of Osiris, which is elimination, basically. We have 3 people on the opposite sides of the map, and they're slowly engaging with each other and trying, of course, to kill them. And if the last person is dying on the team, the round goes to the one that's still standing. The same principle then was used with Crimson Days, only that elimination wasn't with 3 people. It was instead used with 2. And there was another twist to it, because if one of the 2 people died in the match, the other one would also get a buff. He would move more quite faster, and of course was way stronger by reloading quick and all that. So this year, actually, they will turn things around with it. So it will be a Clash game mode, which we also know as Team Deathmatch, and somewhere there will be a round-based mode to it. So from what I understand, round mode, like rounds in between, and just killing the other person without any other goal, it sort of sounds to me like elimination with 2 people. So yeah, I wonder how they will actually play that out. On the post, they didn't further explain how that works. The only thing that also was explained how the game plays is actually that you have to stick together this time to receive a buff that will help you to recharge your abilities faster. So grenades, supers, and all that, they will load faster if you're close to your partner. So stick together, of course. I don't know if we'll play it.
that will definitely mitigate the one person dying, the other person taking out both of the other opposition. Because that was one of the biggest problems with Crimson Days during Destiny 1. One person would jump off suicide, the other person would get better, and then they'd just take out the other 2 people really quickly.
Yeah.
And especially if you're on the team that hasn't had somebody jump off, then you've got a slightly less buff because you have less health, so it's going to do less resistance, so it doesn't take very much for the person with the buff to do extra damage.
Right.
So hopefully that will mitigate that altogether, and hopefully they will stop people from doing the let's suicide together, get the match over as soon as possible, and get rewards for just participating, because that was horrendous. That was so annoying to fight against. It was great if you wanted to receive the rewards, because you jump into a match, 2 people would die, and you would never see them, and it'd be like, hey,
instant
game over.
Cool.
But yeah, hopefully this time they're like, nah, if you suicide, no rewards.
I mean, it sort of happens like that because you will only get rewards on finishing matches, and the chances are high if you win. And also, you have to level up by gaining experience points to get also the Crimson Day engrams. So, as it appears, it will not have directly loot drops after a match, so it won't help to just finish matches very quickly. And again, if you die, you are actually weaker. And even if you both are alive on the team, if you're not sticking together, actually, the other team will get markers on your location. So you have to stick together so you're not just automatically marked on the map. And you'll also get a buff with that. So could be interesting. It's an interesting twist in that. I hope the game mode is fun. If it's actually like elimination, I'll absolutely play it. If it's just Clash, sort of standard team deathmatch, I probably will still take a look at that because, hey, cool new stuff, and it's a 2v2 mode, which is sort of more of what I like to play as a sort of competitive player, although I'm not very competitive, so we'll see about that.
Personally, I don't think I'm going to participate in this year's Crimson Days unless somebody in the chat has an Xbox and they have played Destiny 2 and they're like, yeah, let's go. I'm not very good at PvP. I'm more of a PvM kind of guy. But hey, I definitely look forward to seeing the rewards and seeing the cool stuff. But so far, just having Crimson Days come in for a week is not really going to pull me into Destiny 2. It's not enough for me.
I mean, you
Like,
can
they
see
need to do more stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely not for those who are waiting for the next big thing. But for people like me who occasionally still play, you can get like new armors, free new ornaments for exotic weapons, which you can see right now on screen if you're watching the video. And also cool new stuff like a new emote. Not that one on screen, it's actually that dance here. A sort of taunt dance now there. And of course, themed stuff like red ghosts, and of course a red sparrow, for example. And the good thing is that they're finally doing, and they're actually using a loot table where you can sort of check all the things that you already got. So if you get a drop and you already have certain items, that will not come up again. So dupes will actually be prevented that way, which is really good, of course, for players overall. And of course, if that will finally come to the game as well. Because the last thing that I knew is actually they were planning to bring the update also to exotic engrams. But I still got some dupes when I played last time a few weeks ago, so I hope it's also in the game by now.
Yeah.
That's
Alright.
really crazy. Like, Emily, actually, do you have any experience with looter games? Or looter-shooter games? What's the correct?
Shooting and looting. Running and gunning.
Right, yeah. Shooting and looting. Makes sense.
Do I have any experience with them?
Yeah, like Borderlands, I don't know, The Division, Destiny.
Well, I don't have a console, so I'm not like really into like any first-person shooter games.
Okay.
But I do have Borderlands 2, and it was a really good game. And I remember playing it with friends when it like first came out, and like it really like got us together and stuff. So yeah, it was like it's really good. But yeah, I wouldn't really say that I'm like that kind of gamer. I'm quite lonely when I'm when I game. So
and that's why I play The Sims, so actually can have friends. Ooh. Sorry for that burn.
Hey, we need some aloe vera over here, please. I mean, somebody get her a burn kit.
No.
You need burn hell for that.
No, I prefer so I don't have to deal with people's, crap. Like, like someone.
Makes sense. Funny enough, I was actually talking with colleagues today how I played Sims back in the day, and for me, it was like, hey, I just want to build a house, so I cheat myself like $1 million and just build a gigantic house with that. And sometimes I would actually play the game, like have people living there and all that. So it was fun. But yeah.
Well, I play the game properly, so.
Oh,
look at you!
House test. Get shut down.
I've been a fan for years, so yeah. Cool. Shall we get back to the podcast?
Oh, this is all part of the podcast, but.
I mean, diverging from what we have sort of planned and just have a general discussion. I always love that, so I'm always up for that, right? All cool. Cap was saying in chat, House just want a house for his house in Sims.
Yeah, I'm confused too, Cap. I'm really confused too.
I mean, I also love to build houses in Minecraft, and as we saw in the last live stream, they all look like blocks. But hey, I live in a block house, also like. At least it's not made of gold. It's a trigger word. I'm very sorry for that.
House test. You need to stop.
I had a moment of misjudgment. I'm very sorry. I just wanted to.
All right.
Let's
aside for that, I know that me and House Test, we absolutely love to play some shooter games, and one of our favorite ones by far that came out last year was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG is where it's at, people. That's a fact. And they recently came out with some new facts. And not only that, Microsoft announced a new bundle that's coming out soon. So, House Test, do you want to roll us through that?
Yes, it's actually on screen right now. As you can see, Microsoft will put out a new bundle, an Xbox One S, the 1 terabyte version, alongside with a download of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The complete package will actually contain a controller, the console with 1 terabyte, of course, and all the features that it has. download of the game, and 1 month of Xbox Game Pass and 1 month of Xbox Live Gold, which, as we right now know, Xbox Game Pass will also give you access to the latest games that are developed by Microsoft. So if you would get it soon, I think in March, Sea of Thieves will also come out. So actually, if you would get, for example, that bundle, you already have 2 big games on the console already.
Yeah, and what they didn't mention in the pack as well is a guy will come around to your house when you buy it, and he'll be in his underwear with a pan, and he'll hit you over the head a couple of times until you get knocked out. So that's a good addition to the bundle.
Nice. Yeah, but it's really interesting, and it costs $299 so $300 USD.
For the price of $300 that roughly is about I want to say about 250 British pounds, give or take. I'm not sure what that is in euros.
Probably.
But yeah, for a 1 terabyte hard drive with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds built in and a 1 month of Game Pass, that's a really good deal. I'd say that's worth buying.
Yeah.
If I didn't already own an Xbox.
I mean, at the current cost, $300 USD is €244.
244 euros. That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
For what it is, it's a game with access to loads of games, and a 1 terabyte hard drive, so you can download all those games. So that seems like a really fair deal to me.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, I actually got myself an Xbox One X in December, and also used, of course, the benefits of Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. And Game Pass in December was cool. I found like 10 games that I would have played and downloaded like 2 because time limits. And also played The Division when it was for free back then for the short time. Really great. Since we were talking about PlayStation 4, I actually want to mention like the Xbox One X, or in general, an Xbox One has a great UI system. Very fluid, very interconnected.
We got a cat invasion.
Oh
invasion of the cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying about the wonders of the Xbox. Continue, please, for my ears.
It's fantastic. Like, I love it. I really love it. And PlayStation 4 really has to catch up soon. At least with the next console, they should really take note what Xbox did. I mean, it's sad that the Xbox One X dashboard is in 1080p, and on my 4K monitor, it sometimes looks a little blurry. But I mean, okay, I'm asking for a lot.
What can you do? Maybe it's in a future update. Give it a month or so. Update coming out, 4K resolutions everywhere. But I especially love the aspect with the Xbox One X with games really taking control with that, because when I was playing Monster Hunter World, right at the beginning, it's like, do you want better graphics, better frame rate, or smoother gameplay? I'm like, okay, I'll pick which one I want. And I went for better graphics just because I want things to look pretty. I really don't care about the frame rate. If the frame rate drops, the frame rate drops. Like, it's a computer, it's working hard. So
depends how much it drops, of course.
But exactly. But what's even better is not only can you choose which one you want at the beginning, you can go into the settings and change it up again if you're doing something different. So if you're playing and you want to stream it, you obviously want better frames, so you're going to choose that one. But I thought that was a fantastic use of the software, and I can't wait to see what more games do.
Absolutely. I mean, I was actually hoping that more games would finally use in-game settings. So, for example, if you want to have not only presets like higher frame rate or better graphics, but actually they give me the choice, for example, to turn off better shaders and all that. So shadows will look maybe more blocky and a lower setting, but of course that's something that I can gladly ignore in order to get more performance out of it, and I can instead focus on something else, better lighting maybe instead and all that. So sadly it's not there yet. Only a handful of games maybe have that. I think there was one game, I think even on, I can't remember, something with Star Ocean, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that was now a remaster that had
furiously searches.
Yeah. Star Ocean 4, a console game with a PC setting menu. Right, there we go. You can see it on stream right now, actually. John Lindemann posted that on Eurogamer. And I hope there's a screenshot somewhere there. There is. There we go. So as you can see right now, they have on the console actually very cool setting like anti-aliasing, camera blur, depth of field, character display distance, actually self-shadowing, and texture resolution. Even if it's only low resolution versus high resolution, but give and take, that is already a lot that can improve just alone by giving the players the choice, right? So, yeah. That it doesn't come to more games yet. More games actually take the approach of, I give you a preset, but since we didn't have that for years now, I can still accept that. So a preset is better than nothing, but in the long run, I actually hope for a few settings, Just a few.
Just a few, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so, house test. In your opinion, if you had the options between any of the guns in PUBG, what would you pick?
What I usually pick is the M416 and an AK. Usually that is my double feature for when playing.
Nice.
If I'm lucky, I'll get also a sniper with me. Doesn't matter which one, really.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, as you know, back from when we played more, we should go back to that.
We should. We really
I was
do.
always going with an auto rifle and a sniper, so staying back a little bit and trying to get the headshots in. But it's actually a great question because actually we have some data right now what the people want and choose right now in PUBG. And
M416 at Mini 14. Oh,
yeah, chat says
your
that.
project. That's that in the chat. Doing the real guns. This is what he
Mini
wants.
14. Yeah, Mini 14 is also a great thing. But yeah, PUBG actually released. Let me put that on screen right now. New data that has been set up in a nice sheet for us.
Good Lord,
it's insane. So let's go through a few key points of it. Right now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is sitting at 26 million copies sold. Both on Steam and other platforms, it says here, so Xbox, of course, is banned with that. 26 million already, that's crazy.
That's mental.
Yeah. Peak concurrent players at one point was 3,148,000, and even the live stream section was really crazy with over 1 billion total number of streams happening for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So yeah, that's a lot of content.
For live streams?
Yeah, total number of streams, people that streamed the game. Wait. Oh, billion?
That's 1 million.
1 million, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I was like,
1,000 times 1,000.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I was already in the next line talking about the total playtime. I'm very sorry.
That's 2 billion.
Yeah, that actually 2.7 billion hours of playtime was spent in PUBG. That's translates
longer
over
than
to
we've been on the planet.
No, actually not really. That translates over to 310,000 years.
Oh.
And human sapiens appeared on Earth roughly 315,000 years ago.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
That is mental.
And the thing is, we actually have to remember, like, the game had a closed alpha back in November of 2016. I first had contact with it with the closed beta around February. And then once early access started, it actually just went higher and higher and higher until it peaked, of course, with the release in December into 1.0, where it also had the first time, I think in November, it actually had the first time that it hit 1 million peak concurrent players. It even beat for the first time a Steam game, which is, what's it called, the MOBA?
What was it? Dota 2.
Dota 2
beat out. See, that was always something that just was inconceivable to everybody in the gaming community. Like, you have a platform that gives you Dota 2 for free. And then PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, like a £15 game, comes out and just destroys it in terms of stats within like a month of release. It was mental. Like, the only thing I can think of that jumped up in terms of popularity this fast was Minecraft. That's the only other game I can think of that is just this popular within such a short period of time. Just mental.
Stats for Minecraft are still ever increasing, so that's a whole different topic, but yeah. It's
we won't get into stats for Minecraft, but I'm comparing to contrast here.
I mean, we also have to remember up until December, it was only available on PC, and we always have the perception in the gaming scene that the PC market isn't that big, that you can't make that much money. But clearly, if you have a good game, and of course the situation is right, for example, meaning CSGO not having that much interest, and at least popular CSGO players actually switching over to something new, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those ones which I from watching a lot of people's streams, especially on the American side of things, like if somebody gets bored of playing their game, or they're like, hey, I need to take a relaxing thing off Hearthstone, I played it too much, they'll jump in and play a game of Battlegrounds on stream, and people love that. Like, who was it? Dr. Disrespect, who came back this month?
Yeah, this week actually.
He played this week. Was it this week?
Monday.
Was it Monday?
He came back after taking 1.5 months off because in case you didn't know, Dr. Disrespect was a streamer for I think 5 years already, and with PUBG his time came. It was a character streamer, or is still a character streamer, which is something that's actually not turning out to be that sort of profitable, so people are not that much interested. But with Dr. Disrespect, just the persona worked very well with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds because it is a game where it can actually like dominate everyone, and getting a kill means a lot because he kicks someone else off his server, sort of. And he's also good.
He's really good at the game. I gotta say though, it really, like, it's such a game that you can build a whole persona around, and you can just really go ham on it as much as possible. And I really love playing that kind of game. I hate PvP games, but PUBG is just a lot of fun. I hate it when I die a lot, which I do, but it's still a good game.
The funny thing is, I saw also some YouTubers like Pro Jared and the Completionist putting up PUBG on the worst games of 2017, but only because they were saying, watch out, they were saying, this game is so bad, it has so many flaws, and why do I have like over 100 hours in it? And that basically explains how PUBG works. Like, it had a lot of trouble, it still has a lot of trouble, and I still think the second map isn't as good as the first one. I'd
personally say that for PUBG to make it into the best game of all time, what it needs to do is it needs to make sure it fixes all of its bugs and sorts out a few little things that are just really ruin the game. But it really is one of the best games of all. So like Fortnite tried to do the same thing. Did it do the same thing?
Yeah.
Sort of. But then you've got really horrible hacks like you're able to build up super high to the top of the world, and then so that you are on the top and the person who's fighting's on the bottom, and they can't see you and they can't destroy any of the platforms to cause you to die or whatever, so you instantly lose because you're at a massive disadvantage. But
oh well,
PUBG puts everyone on the same level and goes, good luck, find a gun, have fun, and then we're going to use our pans to become invincible. So
yeah, that's one more stat that we have to mention. Actually, 13,418,123 at the time of doing this demographics. Actually, players were killed by a frying pan, which translates over to a player died every 2 seconds just by the almighty frying pan. And the thing wasn't even meant to be like indestructible. It's crazy. It was actually a bug, and the community said, actually, we love it. Just leave it in the game. And Brendan Greer said, well, okay.
It's just one of those things that when you think of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you think of a literal pan, just because it's so iconic to the game. I remember watching a video of somebody who streamed them playing PUBG with a literal frying pan. They'd hooked it up so you could press different parts of it.
What was it?
Mental. Absolutely mental.
Win with a pan. Who is it? I will put it up on stream right now. It is.
So while House Test does that, Emily,
fuck that.
Would you? What? I know you. I'm not sure if you own PUBG yet, or you're thinking of owning it. But like, what are your thoughts on PUBG?
Well, I I don't own it currently, but I
Mhm.
think it's going to be one of my future purchases within the next month or so. So, yeah, I've heard good things though, like now.
Mm.
And I think I'll give it a try. I'll definitely give it a try. And then I look forward to playing with other people.
Hopefully us.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully you guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it will definitely be a future purchase, and hopefully that goes well, and it might be something that I enjoy and would like to play again afterwards.
Yep.
So yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
Coming right now on stream, you see the Twitch streamer Rootism, who used the pan as an actual controller for PUBG.
Mental.
It's actually mental. Like, he hooked it up with different parts and connected wires to it. So when he actually makes contact to the wires, that translates over. And he does that a lot. I think he did a lot of other controllers like that, which are actually crazy. We also heard a lot of people, finishing Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero drum kit and all that. And he's one of those people who does crazy stuff like that. So playing PUBG with an actual pen, that's just crazy. So Rootism on Twitch, if you want to check that out, Google it yourself. It's fantastic gameplay and just crazy to watch, even if it's not that cool right now at the start. I think he actually managed to get that one chicken dinner, and that's just a crazy achievement.
Hey, it was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who just goes in with a completely new controlling system and just kills everyone and gets the match? Of course, nobody. So, yeah, the journey to that was fantastic to at least hear about. I said he wasn't part of it when it happened live. Yeah, that was crazy.
All right, so what new games are out this week, House Test? Tell me, because I don't know.
Let's go to the release list. You know exactly what's coming up because I sent you the list. Yeah, as we're coming.
You send me the list, but that's not the point. I'm trying to transition.
Yes. So as we get into the end of the podcast segment, we also want to take a look at which games are coming out for next week. So, give me a second. We're talking about February the 12th to the 18th. That's Monday to Sunday, and we're using the Game Informer list right now, which currently lists games from February the 13th until the 16th, and there are actually some really great games in it. We're starting off February 13th with, I don't know, how many? 8 titles, and that's quite a lot for a Tuesday. This is a good, busy Tuesday releasing games already in the second month of the year. So we start off with Dynasty Warriors 9. Has anybody played Dynasty Warriors of you?
No. But I was offered to do, I think, No. Never mind. Ignore me.
Okay.
Ignore me. But no, I've heard of it. I know it's a Japanese fighting game.
Yep. I'll put a trailer in the background for you. Yeah, the cool thing is actually Dynasty Warriors is such a massive game franchise overall. It's getting a little ridiculous as I heard, so... Yeah, who knows? But what I actually know from it, at least, it sort of has a great fan base overall, where people are coming together and playing it in masses. And it's just sort of a slashing game where you go through different actually battlegrounds, and you have to actually fight against masses. You can see right now on stream if you're watching the video version. It's just crazy with the abilities that they're using, sort of fantasy world, of course. And the basic principle is you have, I think, battlegrounds with different gates that you have to protect, of course, and fight back other armies. And of course, you have also to invade other sort of citadels and all that. So that's the basic gist of it. We've seen that happening also with the Legend of Zelda spin-off. And yeah, actually, that will also get a Nintendo Switch release, I think, this year already. So I'm at least excited for that one, although I'm not that much into the Dynasty Warriors game itself. But yeah, there's that at least. So,
what's next?
Next, we have The Fall 2 Unbound for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Let me see if I can get a trailer up here.
All the trailers.
Yeah, it also will get a Nintendo Switch release. So an indie game for Domesticon. Looks interesting. From what I can tell, this trailer must be older because it has annotation still active.
Okay.
Let's skip ahead a little bit. Because we can't make out really much. It sort of has a 3D aesthetic to it with low resolution textures, like not many details in that, and just walking around. So, yeah. That setting actually looks like what was it called? One Finger Punch or something?
Oh, One Punch Man.
One Punch? No, that's the enemy. That's an actual game where you just go left and right.
One Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, that one.
One Finger Death Punch.
That was fun.
A game my brother played for endless hours that I never could understand because I don't have hand-eye coordination.
All right. Okay.
Oh well.
And then for next week, we also have Kingdom Come Deliverance, which was sort of in some trouble here in Germany, at least because of a controversy that was stirred up. One of the developer guys had a shirt on of a sort of racist band, from what I heard, and people were discussing if people should even buy this game because they were afraid to support, neo-Nazi groups and all that. But I just say from that standpoint, people should report about that. If they know about the situation, they should mention that. And if it's sort of impacting the game because only one person showed that behavior, and there's actually a big giant team behind making that game. I don't know if it's that relevant, but
See, it just seems to me like one person pulls out a shirt of their drawer, throws it on, just goes to work, and it's just the wrong shirt. It's just damn. But I've personally played Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I'm allowed to say that because NDAs have passed. And it's a really good game. Like, if you love Skyrim, and if you love, I'll think of the other game. But if you love Skyrim, you're really gonna like Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's medieval. It's fantastic. There's a lot of investigating to do. It doesn't hold your hand in any way possible. You've got to do everything yourself, and it's great because it allows you to do whatever you want, however you want to do it, and there's a great story that goes with it as well.
Yeah, from what I could see, I mean, we also played Mountain Blade 2, Bannerfall at Gamescom.
That was it, the Mountain Blade series.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, good.
But yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that, walking around and actually having first-person combat with bow and arrow, shields and swords and all that shit. So, yeah. Never mind what the controversy was. If you just want to take a look at the game.
Definitely do.
Yeah. So, read up on it if you want to, if that's a concern for you. Other than that, it seems to be a good game. So, that's all we'll say about that here. We don't know if we'll actually cover it for review. We'll see about that and announce it, of course, on our social media. Next up, we have actually a new release of an older game. Owlboy. Does anybody know about Owlboy?
No.
Owlboy. Right.
No.
Because that is a fun game that was, I think, kickstarted ages ago. And it's a high bit, so it's not 8-bit, but high bit instead. Game, a platformer where you play literally the Owlboy and you jump around, fly around, and do your stuff. And that game actually came out, I think, last year finally, throughout the year. I don't know exactly when. And it also will have now a console and Switch release from what I saw now on the list. So yeah, that's happening. Wasn't the best apparently because it was taking so long. It took some of the flaws from sort of older eras of gaming with it, but overall probably still worth seeing. So maybe I will actually go and get that and do a review of that, or at least an impressions video for you to see, because I was still at least intrigued by the looks of it. And if you watch the video version right now, you can see on the trailer, it really looks cool for me at least. I don't know what you're thinking about it, but let me know.
I will. I will definitely let you know.
All right. Closing the window. What's next on the list, Dan?
So, the next one on the list is Crossing Souls. Do I know anything about that? Not really. But from what I see, it's a PlayStation 4 game. It's also coming to PC. So I'm not sure if they couldn't get an Xbox license or if it's a PS4 exclusive type title. But
apparently it's published by Devolver Digital, and as you can think of it, the trailer right now looks really interesting. I think we saw that at the infamous E3 press conference.
Okay.
You remember that one? That was the 21-minute presentation, which was a recording, actually. Which lots of crazy stuff happened. You should actually look that up after the podcast. This is a really fantastic show. And a great parody of E3 press events nowadays. So, yeah, actually, that looks cool. I want to play that. Give me that. Crossing Swords out next week.
The next one, though, I do know about. It's Radiant Historia, Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology. And it is not supposed to be, but it is a remake of Radiant Historia, which was released on Nintendo DS back in 2010 for Japan and 2011 for North America. And it's a role-playing game in a fantasy steampunk area, classic JRPG.
Oh, made by Atlas.
Yes. And they're doing a 3DS remake with Perfect Chronology, and I'm not exactly sure what additions they're going to add to it, but from what I've heard, it's definitely one to look out for if you've played the game before. So they've redone a lot of things. There was a new opening, I believe, that was created by A1 Pictures, which is a very big anime corporation, I think, for North America. And
yeah, I can see something on stream right now.
So, yeah, definitely something to look out for.
Interesting stuff. Oh, yeah, so now you know. I had a few problems because the trailer was apparently only on the Nintendo website and I couldn't find it yet. But yeah, if you will see the video version of that, of course, you will see also a bit of the trailer. Next up, we have Monster Energy Supercross, which is coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Again, on Tuesday. All games so far will be released on Tuesday. And Supercross, the cross bike game.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you say dirt bike game or motocross type game? Because that Monster Energy's like
if that's
Supercross, dirt bikes.
If that's actually in-game footage as the trailer proclaims, that looks amazing. Wow!
I need to find that.
I think I will get it just for fun, because I mean, you can see that it's a video game, but from the first look at it, it actually is like really good.
Damn, those graphics though.
Yeah. So interesting. Might be a feature soon on our channel. At least take a look at it.
Do you know, this reminds me of a game I played on PS2, like when I was like 10 years old.
Oh.
In that game, it was really weird because you could do things like there was a massive fish bowl and they had sharks in it, and you had to jump and do certain tricks over the shark. Like, if somebody in the chat knows what that game is, because I don't know. I played it at a friend's house, but if you know what it is, send me a message.
But it isn't one of the Trials games, right?
Trials
something?
No, it wasn't a Trials game. No, it was a Supercross one. I definitely remember that. But that looks really interesting. It's normally I'm not really into like motorbike games or racing games, but something like that I bet would be a bit of a laugh to play.
Next up, we have The Longest 5 Minutes coming to PlayStation Vita, if I saw correctly, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
How annoying would that be if the campaign was like literally 5 minutes?
I mean, it depends.
But it was the longest 5 minutes you'd ever played.
So apparently you're actually fighting against a boss or something. Okay. And I think I remember that one. I think that's a game that actually only have like 5 minutes of time, and the game constantly breaks the fourth wall and everything, and you actually have to play a mini RPG game which might be funny at least to play. So it might be worth checking out from one of us.
Yeah.
Play mini games. Okay. Interesting. At least the graphics of it looks really interesting. You can see right now on stream. King's most powerful minions. Oh. Yeah, but might be an interesting promise right now. Take a look at that. So who knows?
Definitely.
Also coming out again for next Tuesday. Now we actually get something that we know at least a little bit about. It's Secret of Mana, PC, PS4, and PS Vita release on Thursday. Secret of Mana, of course, we all know as the Super Nintendo game. And also we'll now get a apparently new version, a remake, if it seems so. It's made by Square Enix, of course, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the remake. And right now, trailer is just some fancy graphics. And oh, there we go, there's something more. Yeah, so actually... 3D complete remake of Secret of Mana coming out next Thursday. I guess probably the game for those people who are actually interested in lots of those older games that are being remade. I think it's a classic RPG. 1993 it was first developed. Like, wow. That's old.
It's older than me. But I got to say, the graphics for Secret of Mana, they really remind me of the current Nintendo / JRPG style, because what was it when I was playing Monster Hunter Stories, that very similar look and feel to it. Not the 3D there was a little bit of 3D graphics because it was on the 3DS, but yeah, very similar. And looks good.
Yeah, it looks actually really good.
It's always good when a good game gets remade.
Okay, and next up on Friday, we have two great games that I can talk about a little bit. First off, we have Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch as a collection. I think they will sell it as Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 1 will be included. And we also have seen already some performance for Nintendo Switch by Digital Foundry on their channel. I think I have to look it up again, but it apparently works really well on the console, and it's now, of course, with the on-the-go factor. So yeah, there's that, and looking forward to see it, because I actually got Bayonetta 1 on PC, and I played it for half an hour. Then I watched the anime that was on Amazon Prime with that, which actually just retells the complete story of the first game. And yeah, so maybe now on the Nintendo Switch, I might have an incentive to play it in the living room to just, have something to play on the Nintendo Switch.
Add one or two more games to the ever-growing Switch collection that you own.
Yeah, I actually own, I think at least 20 games already.
Oh.
Something like that. Yeah, but I'm really after that, It's really fun. And another game which I would definitely review because it looks so amazing, and I saw a presentation of that at Gamescom, is Fe, or just Fe. If I happen to remember correctly, it's made in a Swedish studio, and that's just the Swedish word for fairy. So Fe is actually the character. And that game plays around with you are sort of the protector of the forest, and you have a call. And calling and sort of making noises is a very key element of the game. So you're trying to communicate with other beings in the world, and you're trying to fight against a sort of darkness again. So yeah, having the darkness as the enemy is interesting, but there are also beings who again work with sound, so they actually mute other beings, and your way of actually protecting the forest is to learn other languages and trying to communicate with them, and use, of course, your abilities to open up new paths and everything. So Fe, overall, fantastic game. Has a also very nice look, like very polymetric, very nice shading and all that. So if you can see right now on stream, it actually looks like how it is right now. I saw the actual gameplay demonstration, how it really looks like. It is amazing, and it's so fun, and it's also so cute because the first call that you have is literally just like a something like that. It's really adorable if you see with the action
noises
cube
from
thing.
house tests.
Yeah, and there are also like giant beings in the world which you can talk to later on. So there's a lot of things going on. It's maybe with the EA Origins program, which also brought us the Yarny game back in the day, if you remember that. And yeah, damn, I gotta get that because it's really good looking. I can't wait to finally play it myself. So that's coming out next week on Friday. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Excellent.
Yeah, and actually, guys, that is it for next week's releases. We did it.
We got through it.
Episode 2 of the podcast is finally coming to an end. Thanks so much for joining us. It's actually very nice to see you here. And
thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, I hope we could deliver something interesting to you. Of course, as always, thanks also for my guests here. Emily, do you want to say something before we leave?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for viewing and stuff. I'm on press speak, so yeah.
All right.
It's probably why I didn't speak so much. So yeah.
Yeah. We all know that situation. If we're not living on our own and people are around us every day, we can't just say, "Oh, sorry, I'm having a recording, and please leave now." So
yeah,
totally understandable. With the microphone, we get that sorted out very soon too. So looking forward to that. And yeah. While saying that, Dan, use your awesome voice with your new microphone.
Oh, thank you.
What are you doing?
Thank you very much.
Where can we
what
find
am I
you
doing
next?
soon? So I'm still working on the Monster Hunter World review. That should be coming out soon, but don't hold me to that. I'm very busy, sadly. I apologize.
Yeah.
If I had more time, I would give it.
The students left.
Damn university.
Yep.
But otherwise, hopefully, I'm looking into doing a live stream next week. So stay tuned for more information about that. Yep. Still don't know what I'm doing. Still don't know when I'm doing it. But looking to try and do that. So yeah, keep your eyes on this space. And definitely check out our Discord. We'll link that down below.
Listeners can also join on the newbyte.com/Discord, which is a direct invite to our Discord server.
So yeah, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast. We've really had I've had a lot of fun. You guys have had a lot of fun?
Of course.
Excellent.
Emily is nodding.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
There's the thumbs up. Right. There's the thumbs up.
Yeah, and thanks so much for watching also from my side. If you want to see my latest review, it's both on the website and on our YouTube channel, The New Byte. I beg your pardon. Yeah, my voice is starting to get a little dry, so I also had to drink some water in the meantime. Anyway, Dragon Ball FighterZ review is out right now. I will also follow that up with a new content piece about the pre-order history of Arc System Works. So let's take a look how they organize pre-orders with their own games that they also publish. And I think I'm up to something interesting just in general, especially with Blast Blue Cross Tag Battle coming out very soon in this summer. So yeah, that's what's coming. Besides also some new stuff that I looked into and want to do some more personal news piece about that. So yeah, we're slowly also getting the news out, so you will also be informed by us. And of course, all of that can be found on thenewbyte.com. So check that out. We'll try to have at least 1 or 2 posts daily, so we'll always have something interesting to read about.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, for being with us this evening. And we hope you have a good rest of your evening and a good rest of your week. And we'll see you when we next see you.
Hopefully in the next week. All right. Bye.